Ladies and gentlemen, life will test you not once, not twice, but countless times. It won't knock gently. It will shake the foundation of your very being, demanding from you the kind of strength you never thought you had. But in those moments of turbulence, three silent warriors often determine whether we survive the storm or get consumed by it. Our mouth, our mood, and our money. These are not just words. They are windows to your discipline, your self-respect, and your future. Your words can heal or destroy. Your moods can elevate or sabotage. And your money, whether handled with wisdom or wasted in emotion, can either open doors or trap you behind them. This is the formula no one taught us in school. It is the formula hidden in plain sight. The path to lasting success doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your mind. It moves through your emotions, and it flows through every word you speak. Control your mouth. Words build or break destinies. Words are among the most powerful tools given to human beings. They are invisible forces that carry either healing or harm, yet they leave marks deeper than any visible wound. People forget what you did, but they never forget what you said when they were most vulnerable. Speaking is easy. Speaking with purpose takes maturity. In moments of anger, when the heart burns and the throat trembles, it's tempting to release everything that bubbles up. But what is released in rage often returns in regret. Your mouth is a vessel. You can choose to fill it with poison or pour from it the waters of life. The question is, what are you using your voice for? To inspire, or to injure, to explain, or to blame? Silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is grace. Sometimes silence is strength clothed in dignity. The most courageous people are not the ones who shout the loudest. They are the ones who choose their words with care when silence would be easier. In life, we are constantly presented with opportunities to speak when we should listen. We interrupt, we defend, we criticize, but very few pause and ask themselves, will this help or will this hurt? That pause is where wisdom begins. Words spoken in haste don't vanish. They echo, they replay in people's minds. They attach themselves to memories. A cruel word can overshadow 1,000 kind deeds. That is the weight of what leaves your lips. You don't need to be eloquent to be impactful. You don't need to say much to say something meaningful. Sometimes the gentlest words carry the loudest truth. Sometimes a simple "I understand" is more powerful than an elaborate speech. Your tone, your timing, your intention, these are the soul of your words. And if your soul is bitter, your words will taste like venom. Heal yourself so your words can become medicine for others. It is not about walking on eggshells or suppressing your voice. It's about honoring your voice enough to train it. Not every opinion needs to be shared. Not every frustration deserves to become a conversation. You may be right, but being right doesn't give you the license to speak without compassion. Truth without love becomes brutality. Honesty without tact becomes arrogance. Your voice must carry truth, but it must also carry humility. We often speak the worst to those we love the most, as if love gives us permission to be careless, but love demands even more discipline. The ones closest to us deserve the softest part of our voice, not the sharpest. Speak from a place of healing, not from a place of hurting. Because when you speak from your wounds, your words become weapons. But when you speak from your wisdom, your words become wings. You are allowed to feel angry. You are allowed to feel betrayed. But what you are not allowed to do is weaponize your voice to wound others just because you are bleeding. Think of your mouth as a garden. Every sentence is a seed. Some will bloom, some will wither. Some will feed, and some will suffocate. Plant carefully. Tend patiently. Speak intentionally. And when you find yourself trembling with emotion, unsure of what to say, that is when silence is your safest friend and listening is your strongest choice. Control your mood. Emotional strength is inner wealth. Emotions are not the enemy. They are the language of the soul. But left unchecked, they can become hurricanes that destroy everything in their path, including your peace, your relationships, and your direction in life. Your mood determines the filter through which you experience the world. If your heart is cloudy, every light will seem dim. If your soul is restless, even stillness will irritate you. There is no shame in having emotions. The shame is in allowing them to become masters instead of messengers. Your emotions are visitors. Welcome them, listen to them, but do not let them redecorate your life. We often feel we have no control over how we react. But control is not about never feeling. It is about choosing what to do with the feeling once it arrives. Reacting is automatic. Responding is intentional. Emotional intelligence is not suppressing pain. It is sitting with it long enough to understand where it comes from. It is asking, why does this trigger me? Instead of lashing out blindly. Your mood can become a weapon or a shield. When you are reactive, you use your emotions as weapons to protect your ego. When you are reflective, you use your emotions as shields to protect your peace. People are not responsible for your happiness. Not your spouse, not your children, not your job. The minute you outsource your peace, you become a prisoner of someone else's behavior. You cannot pour peace into chaos and expect calm. If your inner life is disorganized, no amount of external control will give you balance. That is why the true work begins in silence, not in noise. Learn to pause when the storm rises. Pause before replying. Pause before deciding. Pause before judging. In that sacred space between stimulus and response lies your power. Your mood is a mirror. It reflects your inner dialogue. If your thoughts are harsh, your mood will be heavy. If your thoughts are kind, your mood will be lighter. It is all connected. Emotional maturity is choosing to breathe instead of burst. It is the quiet refusal to let temporary feelings destroy permanent relationships. It is the discipline to stay calm when everything around you is shouting. It is not weak to cry. It is not weak to admit fear. It is weak to pretend you are unaffected while boiling from the inside. Strength lies in honesty, not in denial. There will be days when your soul feels heavy, when everything feels like too much. But even on those days, you can choose how to show up. You can choose softness over sharpness. You can choose hope over hostility. Emotional balance is not a destination, it is a daily practice. It requires checking in with yourself, asking hard questions, and holding yourself accountable to a higher standard. And when the world feels too loud and your mood begins to drift, remember stillness is not weakness, it is wisdom dressed in silence, inviting you to realign with peace before you speak, move, or decide. Control your money, your values show in your spending. Money is not just a means of survival, it is a language. It speaks of your priorities, your fears, your boundaries, and your belief systems. The way you treat money is often the way you treat yourself. Spending is not just economic, it is emotional. People often buy not out of need, but out of numbness. Shopping becomes a way to soothe, to escape, to feel momentary control in a world of chaos. But money cannot heal emotional wounds. It can't fill a soul that's leaking peace. It cannot replace worthiness that has never been felt. When you understand this, you stop misusing your finances to patch spiritual holes. Your bank account is not your value, but it is a reflection of your values. What you consistently spend on reveals what you believe matters most, whether that's growth, status, security, or distraction. Control over your money starts with awareness. Not shame, not guilt, just awareness. Where is your money going? What does your spending say about what you really want versus what you think you want? A financially free life isn't necessarily luxurious, it is peaceful. It is knowing your bills are paid, your savings are growing, and your future is being cared for without constant stress and sacrifice. Discipline is not about restriction. It is about alignment. When you're financially disciplined, you align your spending with your vision, not your emotions. You make money work for you, not against you. Saving is an act of self-love. Investing is an act of self-trust. Budgeting is an act of self-respect. These are not chores. They are powerful affirmations that say, I believe in my future? Many people fear looking at their finances because they feel overwhelmed. But freedom begins with facing the fear. Avoidance costs far more than awareness ever will. You can't heal what you don't confront. Look at the numbers. Look at the patterns. Look at the excuses. Your financial story can change, but only if you are willing to take the pen back into your hand. Stop comparing your money to others. You do not know the debt behind their designer clothes or the emptiness behind their lifestyle. True wealth is quiet. True debt is loud. Choose peace. You don't need more money. You need more clarity, more intention, more discipline, more vision. With these, even a little money becomes a seed that grows into abundance. Every time you spend, ask, is this bringing me closer to who I want to be? Or is this comforting a version of me I'm trying to outgrow? Don't let money define your worth, but don't treat it carelessly either. It is a tool. In wise hands, it builds. In reckless hands, it burns. And when the urge to spend for escape returns, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this expense aligned with my peace or escaping from my pain? Master this. Trinity, your future depends on it. Life does not reward chaos, it rewards clarity. And if there are 3 areas that silently shape every outcome you will ever experience, they are your mouth, your mood, and your money. These 3 things, often underestimated, are not small matters. They are sacred responsibilities. The way you speak, the way you feel, and the way you spend are not isolated habits. They are braided tightly together, each pulling on the other. If one is out of alignment, the others follow. You cannot expect abundance while speaking doubt. You cannot claim peace while carrying emotional storms. You cannot walk in purpose while spending in fear. Your mouth is the architect of your relationships, your self-image, and your influence. It is the first place your power shows up and the first place your downfall can begin. If you cannot master your words, they will master you. Your mood is the driver of your daily decisions. It tells you how to treat others, how to treat yourself, and how to interpret your circumstances. If you are a slave to your feelings, your life becomes a roller coaster of unpredictability. Your money reveals your values louder than any quote on your wall. It will expose whether you truly prioritize growth, safety, contribution, or temporary pleasure. Mastering your finances is not about greed, it's about alignment with your future. You cannot speak with love, live in chaos, and spend without wisdom and expect success to magically appear. The formula only works when all 3 pieces are working in harmony. What you say becomes what you believe. What you feel becomes what you act on. What you invest in becomes what grows. These aren't just disciplines, they are laws. And you cannot break these laws without breaking parts of yourself in the process. If you want a different future, begin by examining how you are treating these 3 areas today. What are you feeding with your words? What are you justifying with your emotions? What are you silently building or destroying with your money? Change doesn't start in the bank account or the conversation or even the reaction. It starts with a decision. A decision that says, I will no longer live accidentally. I will live intentionally. Mastering your mouth, your mood, and your money doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. It means waking up each day with a new chance to practice discipline. It means falling but falling forward. These 3 areas reflect your relationship with yourself. If you speak hate, you may be carrying internal wounds. If your mood rules you, you may be ignoring your soul. If your money runs away from you, you may be running from your truth. Your mouth must learn the language of grace. Your mood must learn the rhythm of regulation. Your money must learn the discipline of purpose. These are not personality traits. They are learned, practiced, and earned. There are no shortcuts to mastery. There are only daily, deliberate decisions. You do not stumble into wisdom. You do not drift into wealth. You do not arrive at emotional maturity by accident. These are earned territories. When you master these three, you become unstoppable or not, because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You begin to respond with wisdom instead of react with wounds. You begin to build instead of break. You begin to align instead of avoid. And as this trinity aligns, your life begins to risen not all at once, but consistently, quietly, with a strength rooted in discipline and a peace grounded in truth. You don't need a perfect life to build a powerful one. You need discipline. You need alignment. And more than anything, you need courage. The courage to confront the parts of you that are out of order. Because the truth is, success isn't buried in some distant land waiting for you to discover it. It's hidden in your daily choices, waiting for you to choose differently. Your mouth can either prophesy your downfall or declare your destiny. Your mood can either imprison you in yesterday's pain or position you for tomorrow's power. And your money, your relationship with what you earn, keep, and give can either expand your impact or expose your instability. This is not about control for the sake of perfection. It's about control for the sake of freedom. When you learn to rule over these three areas, your mouth, your mood, and your money, you reclaim the authority that life may have tried to take from you. You stop blaming your circumstances and start building from your center. So take back your voice, take back your peace, take back your financial focus. Because this trinity is not just the key to success, it is the evidence of inner healing. And the moment you commit to mastering them, you unlock a version of yourself that was always inside you, waiting, just waiting for you to rise.